Hello, my name is Henry Franco. I'd like to introduce you to Josh, my new client. And what I'm going to be doing to Josh this morning is to alleviate a little bit of this bulk that he has up on top of his hair. So I'm looking over Josh's hair. He has an unbalanced haircut right now. And so what I'm going to do is balance it all out. Find a little blade glide, make my cut a little bit easier for me. It's good for pre-perming, pre-coloring, and it gives more conditioning properties to the hair. It also changes the porosity of the hair, opening up the cuticle, so moisture stays much longer, softening the hair. It also extends the life of the blades. Now I'm going to be working with the planes and front planes up there, as you can see. So now we're overextending. The overextending meaning pulling in the opposite direction. We're pulling the hair in the opposite direction in order to maintain the hair to come back, because we want to maintain the fullness of it. Pulling it to, say, a 45-degree angle, pulling it back up, and then you're going to be cutting on a 45. You have that tendency to cut it too short, so you have to overextend in order to make it come back. As you can see, I'm working on the top only right now. I'm standing on the opposite side, cutting on the opposite side. Because you've overextended it, you won't have that tendency to cut it short, but still taking into consideration that you have to cut it on the planes of the head. The unique feature of this scissor is the blades are disposable, so when it gets dull you can switch out the blade, and there is a lifetime guarantee on the frame. So right now I'm determining how much to cut off. I'm just whacking some off, and you notice how I'm pulling it back. I'm taking a look at it, I keep pulling it back, I'll take another look, and I'm cutting. As I'm cutting, then I'll bring it back and take another look, see how it's falling, see how much more I have to cut to balance it out a little bit, and then I'll go be doing the finishing touches to it. Okay, so now here I got the razor, and by doing that I'm cutting it down. At the same time I'm cutting hair off, but I'm also working with the hair to make it more pliable. The DX models have all stainless steel, heavier in weight and have more balance, and all the razors have a detachable blade holder. So what I'm doing right here is just touching the ends and taking that razor, I'm hitting it just a little bit. In order to be able to create around the ear, you have to pull it over in front, and then you're doing like a question mark. You're making like a question mark coming around the ear. Sticking real close to the ear, closer to the head, the more fullness you're going to maintain. If I really wanted to maintain a lot of fullness in through here, then I would probably be cutting on the outer rim of the ear. Go to the other side. Now we're working on the back, okay? And I'm using a thinning shear. Just tip it and doing the tips. It'll make his hair easier to comb just by touching the tips of it. I'm still doing the same cut all over again, but I'm doing it on the very ends. This is like the finishing aspects of the haircut. The whole point is to have no lines and to have it flow. When you see those lines, or there's the spears that are left in the haircut, little angles that look like a spear. So then you'll come back and touch those spears to make it flow. So now we're going to tip his head, standing in that opposite direction. And if you stay in that one position and work with that one position, what happens is that it makes the work a lot easier. It's easier for you to move his head and manipulate his head, because you're going to be doing this all day. So by the time you're done, your back's going to be hurting, mine isn't. As you notice how I'm lifting, I'm pulling it way up, overextending really high, because I still want to maintain that fullness behind in the back portion of his head, but I'm pulling it towards me. Okay, and I'm working on the top portion of his head. But if you pull the head in that direction, it's going to be a lot easier for you, like I say, at the end of the day. This particular haircut, he's got cowlicks up here in front, okay? We know he has thick hair, but we have to work with that cowlick. So if I went too short, what's going to happen? Now you've taken the weight factor out and it's going to stick up. So if you maintain the weight factor in it, then the hair will flow. There's a guideline there, there's your guideline there, and you're cutting that off. So you can see already how much the blend is in his hair. Using the clipper, using a number 2. It's already pre-done. So I'm just making the taper. Still doing the same planes, as you can see. Work with it. Not always using the full blade. Sometimes you use just tips. If you notice the angles in which my cones were being used, sometimes it's going at a 45. I'm not just whacking it. My cone is doing a lot of the work for me. How severe do you want that taper to go up? Do you want the taper to be high? Do you want the taper to be low? Here we were maintaining the taper on a lower end because we want to maintain that fullness all the way around. Okay. If this was short all the way around, then the taper would be a little bit more severe. Okay, so here I come back in with the razor and just kind of mold it a little bit more. It's kind of what we call sculpting. You know, he wants maybe just a little bit closer. I'm able to give him that little bit more flexibility in his hair, and I'm able to mold it more to his head. I want to smooth it out just a little bit. So what I'm doing right here is just touching the ends and taking that razor. I'm hitting it just a little bit. You don't have to put any pressure to it. The weight factor itself does the work. You're just there to guide the tool. Mainly you probably use about a 30-degree angle to see how my blade is. Some of those are 45s and some of them are 30s. It's just how I make that hair flow back. Just go up to the top of the ear and then come back behind the neck. Keep stretching the ears using the toe of the blade. And we're coming straight down, not in, but straight down. Men's you do straight down. Women's they come in on an angle. Kind of give it a little choppy look to it, so it has more of a natural look. The DX models have all stainless steel, heavier in weight and have more balance. The blades take the pressure onto the skin for a very close shave, and all the razors have a detachable blade holder for cleansing, and they also have a spring action to open and close the blade, so the blade can easily slide in and out. We'll blow dry there, see what the finished product's going to look like, and it'll also draw out a lot of lines. If it does, then you go back and you tip it and pull out those little lines. You can still see I'm still using the same angles in which I cut the hair. I'm not just whacking. Josh, I want to thank you for being with us today. I hope you enjoyed this haircut.